spend some time with the dead.
On demand almost. We'd be like, hey, can you like touch the duck or make it go off? And it would just start lighting up and going crazy.
Why should we be afraid of you?
Hello and welcome to What Goes Bump the Night. I'm your host, Riley Clark, and alongside me, as always, is
Trev Jensen.
And today we are joined by National Haunting.
What is up, guys?
What's
Just
going on,
living the
guys?
bestest.
I know
And
the
if you don't know,
whole,
they're-
you know.
You didn't know their channel is fairly new to YouTube, so I actually found you guys randomly. I came across one of your shorts, and I was like, man, I got to reach out to these guys. Their videos are sick
Invested.
already, and I got to have a chance to talk to them one day. So I'm glad that we finally worked it out, and you guys are here now with us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's good to be here. Thanks for having us. And yeah, I'm glad you reached out, you know.
Of
Yeah,
of
so-
course.
Before we get started, I do have a big announcement to announce.
Whoop.
As everyone knows, we got the Bumpy Awards coming up, and the voting for the bumpiest guest finalists is live right now on Instagram. So make sure you head over there either after the stream right now to go vote for your favorite finalist.
Mm-hmm. Worth it. Promise you.
Definitely.
It'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it. Trust us. And so where are you guys from? You know, let us know a little bit about you. We would like to start off, you know, with the
Yeah,
elementary.
we might know,
questions.
but we always try to get the listeners all privied into the information we have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we understand that. So we're from southeastern Kentucky, a little town called Corbin. It's where the first KFC is, actually.
That's
Oh,
fucking awesome.
crazy.
Yeah, I can like walk to the first KFC.
That is actually really ironically crazy.
Yeah. But it's a real small town. Not a whole lot goes on here. So unfortunately, we kind of have to travel. No
yeah.
big cities around us or anything. We have to travel if we want to get anything interesting. So
We
that's the only
understand
unfortunate side
that.
about it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Our
At least
town
you
is
are in that melting pot of like Kentucky, Illinois,
the Midwestern, like hodgepodge
Indiana,
of
Ohio.
spirit.
Like that's just a hotbed of paranormal. It's crazy how
Mhm.
many haunted locations are just in that little area of the US.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got lucky there as far as the paranormal goes. So we'll take it.
So what got you guys into the paranormal? You know, we always like to find out, like, you know, where'd everybody get their roots and, you know, like what started the whole shebang for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So me and my buddy Dylan here, we just like started we like hiking, you know, kind of outdoor guys, you know.
Definitely.
So we started hiking. I was like, dude, it'd be kind of cool to go hiking at nighttime, you know, just to, I don't know, different, you know, nocturnal animals, different noises.
yeah,
So
definitely.
we would start hiking at nighttime, and then we started getting all kinds of like weird, like, oh, what was that? What was that? You know?
Yeah,
Like
where
weird
it's like that's
noises.
not normal sound.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, we should film this, right, for everyone to see.
Oh yeah.
See if, you know, bring some equipment, you know, see if we can capture anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what got us started. And we was already doing it just without the investigation side of things.
Right. Yeah. It kind of just like snowballed into it, kind of exactly how we were, where it's like we just talked about it into where it's like it just manifested into what it is now.
Yeah, Trevor. But see, I kind of think that's the best way to do things. Is
Oh,
to like have
definitely.
it that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
I
happened
think
all
really cool, yeah.
organically, and that's when it's the best.
Yeah,
Easily.
absolutely. So how long have you guys been doing this podcast?
5 years
Like,
now.
yeah,
So
it-
we're running
a
into
little over
6
5
here
years.
the next
5 years? Gosh.
Mhm.
yeah. 2019's when the dream was thought
Yeah,
of
really
and created.
conceptualized. We really
Awesome.
haven't like really put the gas pedal down until the last 2 years of the podcasting like go around because I had a very small child and now she's in preschool and she's starting to like fend better for herself. So like we're able to do more with this. So it's like, hey, like
Oh,
let's
that's awesome, man. So
do more
you got a
than
kid?
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It's the best thing in the world too. And she's into like ghost stuff. Like one of these older episodes, it's probably somewhere deep in the archives now. We were talking about Wendigos, and she goes, "Yeah, I saw a weird deer once."
Oh, that's
Like,
cute. She
what?
knew a little bit about it. Yeah,
It's like,
that's awesome,
bruh.
man.
Oh, it's too funny. So, like, while you guys are out in these hikes, you know, like, What, like, have you ever seen anything out there? Like, you know, like visually seen like a cryptid or something that like you like legitimately cannot explain?
I don't think we really seen anything, but
Mm-mm.
we were in the woods once, and we were just walking through. I think we separated at one point
Yeah.
because we were just messing around. We had walkie talkies and stuff, but we had like a rock thrown at us from like up the hill.
See, that's weird.
So that
Yeah.
sounds
What
squatchy
animal
to
is gonna
me.
do that around here?
Sounds squatchy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we was kind of joking about. But dude, I mean, in the moment, it was kind of scary. You know, I mean, we was, all of a sudden a rock come flying at you. You know, it hit a tree right beside of us.
Yeah, like what the like it there's either a person or there's like some type of like primate. Like that's the
Yeah, dude,
only other creature.
either way, it's like it's scary. You know what I mean? Even if it's
Oh
just a
yeah.
person up in the woods, it's like that's still no, nothing to play with. So
Yeah, I don't honestly think when I'm in the woods, like surrounded by like acres and acres of property and trees and like things that I can't see, that I'm the alpha at that point. Like, not anymore.
yeah, that's not our place. You know what I mean?
Not my jungle.
Anyway, shout out to the chat once again. Y'all
Always
are amazing.
MVPs.
Always hopping in.
Doing their part, the Lord's work.
That crew, we love you. But Dylan, Jimmy, so what was it that got you guys like into the paranormal? Have you always had a fascination with it, or is it something?
Yeah,
that
before we
you
go
feel
on
like-
these hikes, like
yeah. I used to do it a long time ago for like a older YouTube channel where I just gave up kind of. So I
Yeah.
kind of introduced Jimmy to it a little bit, but yeah, I've always been fascinated. I always watch YouTube videos on it and stuff. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Right. I think that's like a lot of our beginnings too felt like Ghost Adventures, like Destination Fear, like all the like grassroots stuff where it's like, oh my God, I have morbid fascination.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was kind of more Dylan's idea than it was mine. I mean, because I kind of drug him out on the hikes and things, and he kind of was more into the paranormal. So he was like, oh, let's combine these two hobbies of ours together.
That was
right?
Riley. That was literally, I said, Riley, we should make a podcast. And he said, hey, we should do a YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty much how it goes. It's pretty much like for me personally, it's like it goes all the way back to my childhood. I've always lived in haunted houses and had weird shit happening to me. And then obviously I got super popular on TV, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't really feel as crazy, even as a kid
Yeah, I'm not
experiencing
the
this
only
stuff.
one.
And then later on in life, here I am with a freaking weekly ghost show.
Probably an attachment named Mildred too.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
getting deep into this shit.
Yeah, I've seen that the Mildred thing. Like, what's that about?
It's so weird. Like,
It's a crazy story. So I
it's super weird.
obviously locations are expensive, so we were
Mm.
looking for other options. So I started scouting basically all of Michigan through satellite imaging and found this cemetery that looked pretty creepy from above,
Quick
And
little
I was-
Google search.
Yeah, and I Google searched it, and I was like, okay, there's actually something here. There's this Indian named Good John, and he was a really, really amazing guy, like absolutely amazing. Built the first school in the area.
Wasn't it
and,
like dated back to like 1890s or something, like, or 18?
earlier than that, like
Yeah, I would say it
1814.
was extremely old.
It's really, really old, and it's crazy that his grave is still there, untouched, in immaculate condition. And so I drove out there one day with my girlfriend. We looked around, and I was like, wow, this is a cool spot. And then we left. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a good location for us. So we
Was.
went there, and we were walking around, just trying to find, the next location because we really got nothing at his gravestone. So we were looking for any other spirits. And the spirit talker just randomly said Mildred. And we honestly paid no attention to it. We were focused on something else. And then we were just walking around, and then it said children playing or something like that. And we looked down, and we're like, holy shit, this grave says Mildred on it.
Yeah, and it was
Just
within
said
like
Mildred.
like a 5 to 10 minute span, like that those
Yeah.
two things happened. Like, it wasn't a very like long time frame between.
Yeah, so it's a less chance of being like a coincidence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then the
yeah.
fact that it continues to come back up more and more, and then that whole night it was like filled with responses that it seemed like were very intelligent,
Yeah, and
childlike
we
responses.
both heard with our own ears a little girl. Like I
Mhm.
remember that distinctly. It sounded like she was on the other side of the gravestone from me,
Yep.
like playing like peekaboo around the corner with me.
Yeah, and I heard
And
it from the same area that he did too,
yeah,
but I
it was
heard something
wild.
different.
But then fast forward, and it's months later. We're at the tattoo shop and
Mhm.
we're investigating, and it's the Spirit Talker app says again, my name is Mildred.
And the witch is here.
And the witch is here. And this plays into our last video where it said the Mildred, and then we said, if it's really you, say something that's going to make it for sure that
Yeah,
it's
like
you.
link it
The
back
witch
to it.
is here. And we're like, holy fuck, that's what it said at the tattoo shop.
Mhm.
Like, this really is Mildred. And it was just wild.
It's like
wild.
you want to like not draw the correlations with the cork board and string, but at the same time, it's like it's really odd that all of that really went together so like puzzle like.
Yeah, like there's a lot of correlation. Yeah, yeah.
When there shouldn't be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like there should have been none.
like
Yeah, that's one thing that we've learned so far, kind of ghost hunting in the paranormal was like a lot of times like things will happen and then sometimes they don't. And sometimes
Mhm.
when they don't, it's more scarier because it's confirmation that when they did, right, it was real, you know?
Exactly. I always
That's
like to say you got to get your base.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and you got to get that smack of reality going. Wow, I was super lucky the last time I was here. you
Yeah,
know?
like going back multiple, like 2, 3, 4 different times to locations, which I mean, some locations you just financially can't have access to them, but like say like cemeteries in our book, our neck of the woods, like we do those a lot. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, when it gets fucking crazy, it's crazy. But then when it's dead, it's like, yo, I'm gonna chase you through the cemetery and let's make a really funny short.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you can make the best out of either situation. If nothing's happening, you can just kind of goof off, you know, or if you get an activity, that's even better, you know?
We
Mhm.
played hide and clap in Waverly.
Did it work? Because we did the same thing at the poorhouse in Van Buren, and it worked.
We didn't hear any claps. We were just like we were blindfolded, and one of us would like try to find each other.
Dude,
But
I
we
love
didn't hear
that
any
game
like
so
claps
much.
back or anything.
See, I tried to
Yeah.
tell Riley in the group that we were investigating with that was a thing, and they were like, "I've never played that in my life."
No,
Like, what?
no, I never played. Had before you did it on that investigation, I had never heard of it
It's
in my
crazy.
life.
Yeah, and when I did it too, I was like, "All right, I'll teach you how to do it. Like, just clap after I do, and I'll come find you." And then I clapped, and not even 10 seconds later, unfortunately, the camera didn't pick it up super clean. But you
That's
like
because
we
it
just
probably happened 3 floors away from us.
yeah,
But
but like we all distinctly heard it come through like echo through all the like the chambers that were like the 43 rooms in the place, like just like a big fat, and it was like, whoa, whoa, what?
yep.
I don't know how, like, you know, like how does sound happen from disembodied
Nothing.
people?
That's what
Yeah.
I don't understand. Yeah, how do these ghosts make a voice? Like it's crazy to me.
Yeah, because like you know, I mean, physically, something needs to like you need some friction, or
Yeah.
you need connect. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
from
like your
nothing,
vocal
it's
cords have to
crazy.
vibrate. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
like I've always like speculated too, like if we're seeing like these manifestations of these like incorporeal, like physical, like featureless people, maybe it's the energy itself isn't say like electricity, but it mimics electricity to like a point, but then it goes farther than that and it will manipulate the air and other molecules and particles around it, so then we can see it. But I don't fucking know. I'm no scientist.
yeah, we're just ghost hunters.
Exactly. Expert amateurs is what I always like to say
Yeah,
too.
yeah, there you go.
I'm an expert at nothing.
Yep, but I'm a tradesman at all. So you guys have been doing this for a relatively short amount of time, but like how many times have you guys gone investigating now? And like what are some of the locations that you've been able to investigate so far?
It's been about 9 videos so far, so like
Mm.
probably 9 times on YouTube at least.
Yeah.
And mainly the national park around us. It's Daniel Boone National Forest or National Park. Yeah, I think
I
it's
don't know
National
much
Forest.
about it, honestly.
There's not much about it, to be honest.
I was gonna say it doesn't like ring any like you know like big cryptic flags or like
Yeah,
that
no,
is
not
prime
really.
time squatch territory.
Yeah, it's nothing. You know, it's just kind of convenient for us where it's our backyard to go and investigate
Yeah.
these areas. I mean, geographically, they're beautiful areas. You know, we have this one area we like to go to. We call it Skinwalker Arch.
I like that.
Yeah, but it's like it's in the Danube National Forest. It's just an arch like formation. Like out in Utah, like they got those
Yeah.
arches. It looks just like that, but like with trees on top. But we go underneath that arch and do investigations all the time.
Well, I
That's
can only
pretty cool.
imagine that there's a lot of native land too, like a lot of native land around there.
All of it.
I would assume that. I mean, it's like that. This area in particular, like being the Great Lakes areas and like the greater Midwest regions, I feel like it is rife with like the Native American culture that hasn't lived on far well enough into like our day and age and been documented well enough. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
like we're finding nuggets of things here and there every now and again when we go investigate that. I had no idea.
yeah, it's always refreshing, to come
Mhm.
across things like that.
So what would be your favorite like device to use while you're investigating?
Man, that's a freaking good question. What do you say,
There's
Dylan?
so many.
Definitely the REM pod now.
It
Well,
is like
God,
a poop your
yeah.
pants moment when it starts screaming at you and you're like, wait a minute.
What do you have like the actual REM pod or do you have the Mel REM?
It was like $30. I have no clue, to be honest.
Is it the circular like with the antenna that comes out the middle of it? Or does it
No,
have like a screen on it that reads like
It don't have a
milligauss and
screen.
shit?
It don't have a screen
neither,
either.
yeah.
Yeah, it just has an antenna on it where like if you
Yep.
get close to the antenna, it
Okay.
will go off.
Yeah, it's
it's-
just
I know
the
it's-
basic REM pod.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
it's not
I
even
mean,
a circuit.
honestly,
Cheaper version.
same difference though, where it's like you take a lot of the extra like baloney out of it, so it's just the circuit board that just reads electromagnetic fields, and when that bitch starts going off, it's like, hey now, what's happening?
Hmm.
What's actually happening?
Yeah, we always freak out because like our Mel REM never goes off ever. We never get it to go off, and when it does, we freaking freak out because we're like,
Yeah, 'cause it's a big deal,
"Whoa!"
right?
I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
becomes
highly
really a super big
sensitive,
deal
but
for
it's
us.
also like super fine, like where it's like
Yeah,
you have
we
to like
literally like
do
we
it.
dial down the like intensity range of it, so it's like you have to touch the antenna, like you can't just
Basically, yeah.
you have to be like on top of it.
Yeah. I'll tell you our least favorite is the freaking EMF meter.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Dude, I hate
Straight up.
EMF.
Well, I walk around with it
Yeah,
just to
it is
figure
a
out the
good
high
tool for
areas,
some.
and we'll try to stay away from those just because we know that there's probably a higher EMF in that area of the building. So
Yeah.
we'll move out of it, but that's basically it, just for like a baseline reading.
Yeah.
We used to use it a lot because it was the only thing we had,
Hmm.
but
Same.
then we upped our gear and it's
Yeah, which
basically
there's
been, like,
nothing
obsolete for
wrong
us.
with using these equipments. It's literally all personal preference, and we've just
I just-
noticed that it's inconsistent.
Inconsistent and a lot of false
Mhm.
positives.
Exactly. False
Yeah.
positives is a very good way of saying it.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. For me, I just hold on to it to look like I'm doing something in the videos.
That's sometimes how I feel, where it's like, hey, there's a lot
What
of
do I
nothing
do with
going
my
on.
hands?
Yeah, we don't want. Yeah,
I've asked the same question 30 times. Like maybe if like I want to look good on camera and I just grab a spirit box and I just go like this. I don't have to do a whole lot here. Like you can just watch this.
yeah, that's a good idea. What
Sometimes.
shuffling?
Yeah, and then just like let everybody just like mind-numbingly listen to the
He's lying. He loves to be on camera.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely lying when I say that. Sometimes I'm like, I'm totally introverted. That's like, no, you're not. Shut up.
Yeah, I always thought I was an introvert until but I noticed the more I get around what it is you get around people that kind of drain your energy,
Yeah.
you think you're an introvert because you feel like, oh man, I really
Just
want to be here,
taxed.
but then you get
Mhm.
around the right people and I feel like I get energy from that, you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah,
I'm more of
like
an
I've always
extrovert.
been told I'm a social butterfly in certain situations, and it's like, I don't know, like some people just help my wings spread. Like it's like adding gasoline to fire. Like, what do you want?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe
I'm a
it.
peacock. You gotta let me fly.
You know what the best part is though? Like, imagine going on an investigation and like that's how you get certain responses is like you gotta like peacock. So like you just like wear like certain colored like like shirts, and then you're like, all right, walk into this room with red and be like, respond with nose by talking to him, like wearing like S's Method headphones, and then
Yeah.
people wearing green. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like colors have a lot to do with like how like energy manifests too. I've also heard that.
Yeah, there might be something to that. Yeah, we don't know much about that, but I mean, there might be
Mm.
something to that. We've just never thought about it like that before.
Yeah, like, do you guys investigate, say, with like white lights or like red lights or any other colored lights
Oh
like that?
yeah, oh yeah. We're a big fan of red, mainly
Yes,
because
are we?
mainly because like if it's dark out, red doesn't really, with your
Attract
eyes, you can,
bugs.
what I
Yep.
mean.
That's what I always say, where it's like, like, I am definitely not trying to blind everybody for one, and
Yep.
then two, it is like it's an eerie vibe that it
Oh
gives, which
yeah.
I love that, but at the same time, you're right, like, it's not like an overwhelming harshness.
Dude, it really sets the atmosphere too. You know what I mean? When
Mhm.
everything around you's red and you're like, oh, there's demons in these woods. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Or, like, you hear the thump and you're like, "It is blood red around me," like,
Oh,
the
dude.
shadows are cast, like, 20 feet longer than they should be, like, this is spooky.
I
Yeah, it
think
really sets
red
the mood.
probably brings in dark energy, honestly.
It could yeah, it very much so
Yeah, it could
could.
have. I mean, it's always associated with that, right?
Mm.
Right. Yeah. Red, bad.
Yeah, red bad. Yeah,
Red stop.
Blue,
Yeah,
good.
like, all that.
I'm
We've
losing
we've
money. Red.
been like we have more colored lights now though, so we've been like using a lot of like mood setting
Teals,
lights.
purples, greens.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So do you have like a RGB kind of like light you
Mhm.
use?
Yeah, we bought a shit ton of different ones off Amazon, and, like,
So, like,
they're,
one, like right here. So you just get just buy a power bank for it, and then
Mhm.
boom.
Very similar.
That
Yep,
looks
just
very
throw 'em
similar to
on the
our setup.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly so nice. Oh, and you can get the ones on Amazon realistically for, like, 20 to 25 bucks that have the magnets in them too. So you can just, like,
Yeah,
fucking magnet them to
that's just
stuff
a
and it's really
that's just
good.
a cheap one, but it does the job. It does the job.
Yeah, as long as it works, that's kind of the way we do it. 'Cause that's more money. If you save money on like some of your equipment, like like the lights and things, that's not necessarily
Mm.
that important. You can like spend more money on like trips and like going to different
Yeah, the
locations.
trips are
Exactly.
definitely where it needs to probably be funded the hardest.
We
We
think so.
also were like, microphones. Microphones were a big one where it's like, I think that's the next big, big, big upgrades.
Microphones, definitely game changer. Like we just got lavalier mics. I don't think they're the greatest. Obviously, they're
Yeah,
not
they're
the
lower
GIs or
quality.
anything or
Yeah.
the Holy Stones, but they have when we put them on correctly and do the right thing with them and don't fuck with them and don't have them like jumping around, they sound really good. And they're literally like, what were they like $15 ones? Like
Yeah, they were like
25?
20, 15 bucks. They're on sale, I think, too, even.
Yeah. So that's a good
Amazon came
investment.
through.
Yeah, because we had a Rode mic and then we had to give it back to our buddy.
Yep. Because he does music videos for a bunch of different people, and he was like, "I have some projects coming up." And I was like, "I understand. It's yours." Like, thank you.
We're a big fan of Rode. We use the shotgun mics is
Mhm.
what we use right now. So it's right.
Mm.
Yeah,
I mean, so it's good entry level
it's
microphone,
like the cheap
but
one. Yeah.
the cheap one, yeah. But it's way better than like factory,
Oh
audio.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's what we were noticing too. Is like the iPhone, like for what we record on, is like a lot of iPhone.
Yeah.
It's decent. Like it does a good job of capturing it when you're within like a 5-foot radius of it. But realistically, like that's not always very like great because you know like a lot of times we don't know where any of the activity is gonna happen. Like we just
Yeah.
hope it happens within that 5 feet. So like having that shotgun mic, woof. Yes.
Honestly, though, we have had good luck catching EVPs on the
Yeah,
iPhone microphone.
we
It's
really have
wild.
had some good luck.
That's awesome, guys.
We caught a EVP on our last Skinwalker Arch video, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You want to tell them about it?
Uh,
We left the camera. Okay, so we left the camera. Like, so we have two cameras, right?
Yeah.
And we decided to move locations because we wasn't getting a lot of activity. So so when we set up one camera at the base of the arch, right, and then we left it running just to see what would happen, and then we walked up, uncut on the video. We walked up to pick up the other camera on top of the hill, and it's like we're out when we got to the top of the hill when we're no longer in sight. You can still kind of hear us mumbling. An EVP comes clear as day. It whispers and it says, "Hey."
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, dude. And it's on YouTube. Like you can watch it right now.
Yeah.
Where do you know the
Dude.
timestamp?
It's well, there's
I'll pull
one
it up.
we put it in the beginning of the video also. So that one's cut just for time's sake, but in the middle of the video it's completely uncut. So you can watch it. It's the last Skinwalker Arch video. Skinwalker Arch, returning Skinwalker Arch.
Yeah, I don't know the timestamp though.
I don't know the timestamp. Yeah.
Riley is the only one that understands
I got
timestamps.
it.
I just look at it and go, I'll scrub through it and find it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, it's fine.
I just scrubbed through it. Ooh, we got this shit ready to go.
Dude, it makes me poop my pants though when you get that feeling of like, what the fuck? Like we didn't say anything.
All right, is this about right?
You can do.
Yeah,
We got a short of it as well.
that's fine.
Okay, this is fine. Yeah. Let me see.
That's about right.
Let this uncut. Yeah, right there. It's right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Dang, you're quick.
Just gonna fall that way for sure.
There's sound for you guys, right?
Got a flashlight?
Mm.
Chat.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Oh shit!
You guys aren't even close to the microphone.
Yeah, we're both far away. Yeah.
The only
Yep.
way that is virtually possible is if there was a disembodied voice that whispered at the microphone. There's no way that you guys can throw your voice that well. And if you can, you guys are in the wrong career.
Yeah, if you feel whip or something, get some puppets are going up in here.
Straight up, because that's fucking crazy. Like
Yeah,
as
so we-
subtle as it is, too, it's that's really defined.
Yeah, it was clear as day. Like we was really happy. We didn't even know we got anything until editing.
Well, when you
So-
guys are in the fucking woods, like what is
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Like what is that?
That's
Holy
crazy.
shit. Yeah, well, and it's like that's also another testament too to where you 100% never know what locations are going to get activity or be haunted even because
Mhm.
like we went out into like also like basically a park that was once a farm and had been a farmstead and like a homestead, I mean, for what, like 100 years plus or something like
Yeah,
that.
100+ years.
And we were like, all right, well, it's close to like, you know, like a location that we can realistically get to within like 20 minutes from like where we all live and stuff. So like we just kayaked our asses out to this place, like because we decided to be like ninjas at that point. It was awesome.
It was
And then
it was way cooler if we did it on kayaks. We could have drove there, but way cooler if we did it
way
on
cooler
kayaks.
on kayaks. But then, you know, like I didn't think anything was really gonna happen because we were just in the woods. And the next thing you know, we caught like an hour's worth of like really intriguing evidence where it's like, what? Like we're in the woods, dude. Like, how do you explain any of this?
Yeah, dude, you never know when it's gonna happen. You know,
Mm.
it could be anywhere, anytime. But dude, that's freaking awesome that y'all kayaked out there. That sounds like something me and Dylan would get into. I just bought a kayak recently.
It is awesome, but there's a big but. Hauling the fucking equipment is like
Oh, dude,
super
it sucks.
anxiety.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
then like
I was gonna film. I literally got 14 seconds of film of us kayaking because it was so sketch because it was pitch black. It was like 11 o'clock at night. We're out in
Couldn't
the
even
middle
get
of the
good video.
water.
some of us were way more out of shape than others, so it was like, yo, you're a mile behind us. Like, hurry up.
Oh god, it was great. It was great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
we should
I
do
didn't
more of
realize.
those.
I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't realize how physically exhausting kayaks were until we got
Dude,
one.
It is. It's like your shoulders, like your fucking,
yeah.
like
It's
your
a good
fucking
workout.
biceps are like burning after like you do this for like 15 straight minutes.
Oh yeah, it'll do it.
We ran like 75% of the way up the body chute. that was really hard.
Oh, in Waverly Hills, yeah, last night,
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
dude, it's horrible because it's like an incline, like it's like 45-degree incline.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's isn't it steep? Like from what I've seen and like heard is like it's pretty fucking like yeah.
And
Yeah,
There's barely any oxygen down there as well.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's
fucked.
I mean,
yeah, we took
yeah.
off. I didn't make it 15 feet, bro. I told Dylan I feel like I got tuberculosis.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was
That's me
probably still
walking
in
up
the
the
air
stairs.
down there, bro.
Literally at Eloise Asylum, that's how I felt. Every time we would like do like the 3 or 4 flights of stairs, I would literally be like, it's 3 degrees, it's cold air, so it hurts my lungs, and I am fucking fat. Like, leave me alone.
What was the like y'all said you were at Waverly last
Mhm.
night? What was like Was there like a moment where you're like, holy shit, this place is insanely haunted at all?
To be honest, like as soon as we got there,
It just immediately jumped off like that.
yeah, we went to the body shoot and we started hearing like physical noises, like knocks and stuff in the body shoot. It was kind of insane. Like
up front, no, well, we never got anything like this before, and that's quick too.
Yeah.
See,
That's incredible.
that's kind of like our old Lincoln County investigation too. Like it's not, we don't have a great documentation video of that because we weren't really good at it yet. But like we walked into the building and within 5 minutes of being inside of the jail, walkie-talkies started turning on in our backpacks nonetheless while we were just standing there. Like it just like the whole vibe was just like, boom, you're into the electric cobwebs now.
I caught an orb. The first thing we ever captured on camera, I caught an orb within 15, 20 minutes of the like tour.
And like I physically reacted to the orb that he caught, but I wasn't looking at the screen that he saw it through. So like I thought I heard
I was
something
filming
in the
him.
room. Yeah, I heard something in the room next to me, which maybe was like the entity that was the orb or something. And I like flipped around, shined the grid, like this grid laser we had in there, and was like, "What's that?" And he was just like, didn't tell me until after the whole like session in that room. And he goes, "Bro, check this out."
Yeah.
It was like all fluently happened. And I was like, how does what?
Yeah. So if you guys ever get the chance, it is a kind of expensive location, but the old Lincoln County Jail in Ohio, Newark, Ohio, incredible.
Banging.
That
Okay, I'll
place
write that
is-
down right now. So it's
Dude.
called the Old Lincoln County Jail.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a little bit expensive, but I mean it's totally
It's
worth
banging.
it. Like honestly, it's incredible. Like we caught
The
probably
history's
the scariest noise I think ever. We caught like a jail
The
cell door
disembodied
there
voice, too.
moving. We caught disembodied
The
voices.
intelligent answer that it was.
We caught so many things. It was incredible. And that was our first like real big that was our first big location.
That was when I was
ever.
still a pussy. And I was like,
Yeah.
bro, like I'm scared. like actually scared.
Yeah. Definitely recommend that. Or Asher Walton House.
That
Shout out to
one's
Asher
always
Walton House.
high. Poltergeist activity for the first time in my life that I've actually like physically seen.
What's this location called?
The Asher Walton House is in Indiana.
Yep,
what was it?
Atlanta, Indiana.
Atlanta, Indiana. That's what it is. And then the other one was the old Lincoln County Jail in Newark, Ohio.
Okay, awesome. We'll have to check these places out.
And Asher Walton's actually pretty affordable
Mhm.
because for one, you're renting out a giant fucking mansion. Two, you're not gonna not capture paranormal activity because as soon as the sun goes down in that house, they
The
come out
spirits
to
come
play.
back.
And two, there's actually another location right around the corner that you can
Oh
book
yeah, the
for
Rhodes Motel.
pretty cheap. That is also super haunted. A lot of our friends have rented out both places. And then those two locations are
Yeah,
top
those are like top tier for sure for at least for our list. I know there's been quite a few of our guests prior that are, I would consider all of our friends now at this point, that are also like, hey, that place is wild. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna go there now. Thanks. Like, okay, we went there. You need to go there.
Have you guys been to Waverly yet?
Mm-mm. Unfortunately, we've only been to one jail and one sanatorium at this point. Like those are on our bucket list though, is to go start knocking the big ones off.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our first big one. We decided that if we're going to take our YouTube channel to the next level, we're going to have to do something next level.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's how it always goes, right? Where it's like the littler locations just never get enough recognition.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. Even if you got activity.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what kills me, man.
Yeah. Lately, we've been trying to do a lot of local Michigan stuff because we want to put some places on the map. You know what I mean? And so far, they haven't really let us down at all. Like they've all like when the night's over, the last two locations were like, it was decently active. I don't think we caught anything. And then we review it and you're like, okay, this is way more active than I thought it was. And like every time I even watched the video we put out last week, I'm like, damn, this was a lot crazier than I like recall
Yeah.
it being. And I'm
And we
expecting that
debunked
with
like one of the
our next
crazier
video.
things too.
Spotted
and
Ghost, what's
Post-Town,
going
dude.
on?
I forgot that we have a Post-Town Elementary video that's about to be released sooner than later, which I am on the very tail end. I just got to get my wife, who was with me on that investigation, to sit down and do an intro with me because while we were there, I fucked the intro up. Other than that,
I
it's
wanna ask
fucking
how,
good.
We like to call, I don't know about you guys, but we call ourselves one take wonders. So we typically just roll with the first take.
Not us.
Because
no,
like
we're like
after the
10
first
take wonders.
Yeah.
after the first dude, it just snowballs into just debauchery and just like what? What did you just say? Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, we
I-
get carried away and we have to like, all right, we got to get back in filming mode. You
I'm
know,
on
'cause we
that
got-
same train.
Yeah.
A lot of the times Riley will just be like, he'll be spot on, be like absolutely ripping apart, like, you know, like a little like segue intro or something, or like just like a part where he's like saying some like history, and then he'll like throw it to me, and I'll just be like, I turn off. And it's like, why? It's like my brain flatlined.
Like, dude, we talked about this.
And I just went deer in headlights, which I mean, realistically, it happens.
Yeah, dude, this is every video. Like we'll like we've been doing this for like a short amount of time, but like we get on location, right? And then I'm like, all right, now, and then I was like, all right, now what? I'm like, bro, like we do this, like you know,
This is
Hurry
supposed
up
to be
and
our
wait.
job.
That's what it is. It's hurry up and wait around. That's what I always do.
hurry up and wait around. Exactly, yeah.
So okay, the chat's wanting to know more about Waverly. I mean, you don't have the video obviously yet, so you don't have to spill the beans if you don't want to. That's totally up to you. But if you could give us one experience to look forward to in your video, what would that one experience be?
Yeah, if I was a fish, I'm biting that hook.
Oh gosh, what would it be doing? What would it be? We
I
had
know
some-
it just happened last night. That's a lot to
You're
take
still
in.
processing all of it.
Yeah.
Too. It's like, fuck, dude. Oh wait, that did happen.
I feel like we're gonna say something. We're gonna be like, oh, we should have mentioned that instead.
See, but here's the caveat too. I always thought the same thing, but then when you go like, we caught disembodied footsteps, people go, holy fucking shit, I need to see that. I need to hear that. I gotta be
Yeah.
there for that.
Well, what would probably be doing?
I mean,
Oh,
I feel like the
the
morgue
cartwheel.
drawer was really cool.
Oh, the more towards what?
The morgue drawer with the REM pod and stuff.
I think the elevator.
Oh, the elevator was sick. Yeah.
We could do. Oh no, we should talk about the cartwheel, the squeak.
Oh yeah, and the
Okay,
morgue
so right past down the body chute, right, the tunnel where they like took these thousands of dead bodies, right? There's like this old original gurney where like they would like take the bodies down the body chute, like with wheels on it, you know. And we walked right past it. And we're like, okay, that's weird, right? Keep that in mind. So then we start doing our investigation, and we ask a question. We get quiet, and you can freaking hear a wheel squeaking, like a rusty wheel.
What do you call it? Like the industrial, like the spinny, like shopping
Yes.
cart type of wheel sound.
Yes, exactly. Yes, right down the hall, like from that gurney.
Were there actually still gurneys on that floor too?
Yes, yes.
Dude.
That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, they had a lot of the original equipment that was there. It was so cool to see.
We
That
did
is
double
really
check, though,
creepy though.
like,
You know, like, well, and then you start asking yourself, is that just like disembodied sound, or is that a manipulation of an object, or it's a poltergeist?
Yeah, we double checked it. We were maybe thinking it was a residual energy thing instead.
Mhm.
Because it
Oh,
wasn't
that's
really-
even creepier because
It-
you're hearing the sounds of someone's dead body getting rolled down the tunnel. That's
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, like we
that's
went back to it. It wasn't
creepy,
moved.
bro.
I mean, how would you have rather it been moved, or would you rather have like just heard it like you did?
Dude, I think either way we're screwed, honestly. I mean, I
Yeah.
think either way.
It's your boy demons, come and get you.
No, we were at the place, right? I mean,
Yeah, I like honestly though, Old Lincoln County Jail is a great example too of like how we had similar experience where we heard a jail cell door move, and it was like, and we're sitting like in like the what was it, the nurse's office basically. So it was like
Yeah,
off
yeah.
a room off to the side of the
It was the
actual cell
exam
block.
room for the nurses. Yeah.
That's what it was. And yeah, we hear that and like we look at each other and we're like, dude, what was that? Like
And
we all
first thought
freaked
was,
out.
"Oh, is someone else on this floor?" Because we were with a group, but they
Had
were
to be.
actually we walkied them and we're like, "Hey, what floor are you guys on?" They're like, "We're in the
Little
basement."
basement.
We're like,
We were on the second or the third floor.
second.
Yeah, I think it was the second. Still like 2 floors in between us.
Yeah, and we're like, "Okay, we're gonna come down there." So we come down there to talk to them. We're like, "Hey, was anyone from the group
Yeah,
like
like y'all fuck around.
upstairs and like move a door or something?" And they're like, "No, we've been sitting here doing the flashlight experiment."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what people actually call that,
With
but
the mag light and
yeah,
unloosen it or whatnot.
you ask them to turn it on and off and everything, and we're like, "Oh, well, we just heard like a jail cell door we thought like move," and we're like, "Okay, we're gonna go upstairs and see if we can debunk it." And then we walk up and we look down the middle hallway and we look at this jail cell door, and it looks like it was kind of like way more in the hallway than what we remembered.
Like
And
you
we're
kind of had to walk around the door to get straight through the hallway, which it wasn't like that before.
no, and so we went and checked it, and to move this thing was like trying to move the biggest boulder in
Yeah, it was cast
we've ever
iron that
seen.
was rusted to the wall because it was a open air jail for a long time where they would heat it with just like a fireplace at the end of the hallway.
Mhm.
Wow.
So yeah, this jail was exposed to elements for years and years and years, and it
No
was
idea how the fuck
completely
it happened.
rusted. Probably hadn't moved in like 100 years, and we were like, "Holy fuck, that's
Like,
creepy
yeah,
as hell."
like I to this day that was seriously one of like the actually creepiest sounds I've ever heard too.
It was. I can find it on just so y'all can. Oh, I'm not locked into this shit.
I have a picture that I can pull up really quick of a full body apparition photo. And then I want to see if you guys have ever seen anything like this as well. So while you're pulling that up, Riley, I'm gonna show them this. So as you can see, like if you look like right at the line of the spigots, like the middle two, where that middle post is, like do you see the head and the body and what almost looks like hands that are like kind of going like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever caught anything like similar to that too, like just in photos? And this was taken with my iPhone, and like no explanation to how or why, any rhyme or reason. You know what I mean?
I've seen it before in other people's photos, but we
Mhm.
personally haven't caught anything like that.
I don't think we've really ever tried though.
But we've never really, like took pictures of things. We kind of just keep the camera rolling film wise. Um,
Yeah, I mean, like, same here. Like, usually I don't take photos, but like, I felt compelled that day, and this was at a cemetery that, like, mind you, is overgrown, way back in the woods, and is also on Native American land. That also is like what we have now found out to basically have been like a war zone for two different tribes, where like two tribes killed each other with like poisoning water sources and conflict. So it's like, oh shit, like the land is charged, like something's here. And then oh, I almost forgot. There's another photo too that we caught in the exact same night of like another like not disembodied, like a shadow figure almost. So if you look at this, like in the left side, like at the bottom, you see that black tail almost.
mhm.
When we add the contrast to it, underneath the light, you can almost see like a full, like it almost looks like a robed figure. But then in the next photo, it moves.
Oh, that's crazy.
These photos don't, you know what I mean? Like these aren't really like they might have moved like a micro inch. But yeah, like that shadow moved. Oh, and that's the tattoo shop.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like what the
That's
fuck?
that's one of the that's probably the best thing we've ever captured.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
visually, like I think that's cream of the crop, like some of the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Oh
But
yeah, that's
also
crazy.
biased. Just a little biased.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, we're kind of biased too, but dude, that thing is tall, whatever it is.
It's also
Dude.
like I've seen so many different unique things now where it's like, what the fuck are we dealing with? Like everything is so different now where like Ghost Bros, like these guys, they showed us in their episode when they were on with us that there were I forgot what the location was, but it was one of the big locations, like bigger named ones. and there was like footprints in this water, like this puddle, and it was dry where there were 2 footprints, and then out of the footprints were like wet, like
Yes.
like
That
solid
video's
wet
fucking insane.
footprints. And it's like, okay, what the fuck? Like, none of you are barefoot. It's cold for one, and then 2, like, did the spirit manifest in the fucking water, and then like when it walked away, it left like a water trail? Like, what is happening?
That is crazy.
All right, here's
That's so
the
unexplainable.
here's that jail cell door.
I'm so glad you found it.
Hopefully you could hear it. It's really quiet.
Oh, we can hear it. We can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It almost sounds like a harmonica.
Yeah.
That is so creepy.
Like, I
Oh
would
my
think
God.
piano, but it was 100% the door moving.
Did y'all leave that there, like near the door? The
We were.
recorder?
It
No.
was sitting in the room with us, like right in
Yeah.
front of me and Riley, and
That's
we were
how
both
loud it
sitting in
was?
these chairs.
Dude,
Yeah,
it was
super
echoed
loud.
through the jail. It was so loud. Like the voice recorder doesn't live up to how
It doesn't
loud
do it like if we plug that voice recorder into the mix board that I have
Yeah.
now, and we record that sound off of it, you would get like
Yeah,
the full
'cause
vibe of it.
Unfortunately, Facebook condenses all of your audio and
But it had
video
bass.
files
It was like
ridiculously
the
amount.
tone was like on point with like a horror film. Like, like what?
I'd say call the police, but you're already at
Already out of jail, and like this jail too is like infamously like well known for two very well known people. That one was dragged out of there and murdered in the town circle, being hung by like their flagpole by their capital,
Oh
basically.
my gosh.
Yeah, because he shot and killed the sheriff, right?
something
Or it
like
was
that. Yeah,
it was yeah, I can't remember
I'd
the
have-
exact story now.
I can't remember the history. All I know is that he was he was a like 16-year-old impersonating a detective, and he did
And he
this
got
for a long
shot
time.
during Prohibition, right?
Yeah, and
Yep.
then they like arrested him, and then they like literally the town rushed rushed into the jail, pulled him out of the jail cell, brought him out into the town
then
square,
lynched him.
essentially, and lynched him. In front of
And then
the whole
another
town.
lady burned up in her cell. Like she
Yeah,
somehow
another lady-
wore a dress that just caught up and burned to death in the cell. Like,
Dude, that must be like
Okay.
the worst way to go, you know?
Yeah,
Like, not only
yeah.
are you on fire, but like you're trapped inside a cell. You can't get help.
oh yeah, and it's like a concrete box at that. So like
Dude,
there's absolutely nothing to put you out.
And then on top of that, it's not a concrete box; it's a steel box essentially. But
Yeah, and it's overcrowded.
on top of that, the burn marks are still on the wall from that.
Oh my gosh, really? You can check them out today?
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's like a
Definitely
plaque.
today.
It's
We'll check it
fucking
out.
crazy. So I think the women that's on the third floor, right? The women's
Yeah,
floor is
it's on the
first.
second or the third floor. I can't remember. I get them flipped because they're all identical of each other.
Yeah.
And like no fucking separation between like men's and women's whatsoever. So it's like, what floor are we on? Like,
There's
how many
one
places
stairwell,
there?
and it's just like
It's like a spiral,
go
basically.
and you don't know where you're at. You just go through a
Mm-mm.
door, and you're like, oh, I'm on a floor.
I'm on a floor.
The only floor you can tell that you're on it is the basement because that's where the showers were.
Yeah, that was about it.
Like you walk into the shower area. That's
And then
basically-
somebody got shanked down there like 100 times in the shower and died there. So like they were
Yeah.
also like, hey, there's stuff that happens down here too.
Yep, I remember that. We sat right where the person got stabbed. We didn't catch anything in the basement though.
This fucking place is crazy. Like I want to go back so bad, but like that was what a 5.5 hour drive for us.
6.
6, yeah, it was a 6-hour drive.
Wow, y'all drove 6 hours to do an investigation?
Mm.
We rented
Man,
a
y'all are
car and
committed.
everything.
Yeah, it was the first one we did too, because we were like, we're gonna ball. Ghost Adventures has been there. They caught a shadow figure. Like, we're gonna catch some shit. And we did. So
I'd probably be fine
So-
at that point though.
I want to know
We started
about. I
talking
haven't
about
watched it yet, but you got to tell me about this video about the fire tower.
Okay.
yeah, I want to hear about this too. I'm so intrigued.
There we go. Okay.
How about you?
Okay, so there's only like 3 fire towers left in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
And this one was built in like the 30s. And it's been decommissioned and reconstructed. And I'm like, dude, like we just discovered it randomly.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
there's really any backstory on it, to be honest.
There's not a whole lot of backstory, but you're like literally on top of a mountain, right? Because they build these fire towers on top of mountains to like overwatch the fires. And dude, we got so much activity over there. Like we was doing spirit box, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
We was doing Estes method. No, not even before the Estes method.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, remember when we got the Nukes?
Oh yeah. I forgot the knocks through the spirit box. That was crazy.
Yeah, dude, we was like, are there any spirits here now who would like to communicate with us? And it plain as day, on video, like it was like knock, 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 like real loud.
Yeah.
And it never did that again.
Like what? Like what?
Interesting. See, we've had some weird stuff like that come through, like noises, not like voices, but
Whistles.
like noises and whistles that like come through the spirit box.
Like birds too. Like we heard birds that one night. Oh, you weren't with me when I legitimately heard birds chirping at Post Town. And I don't think I was recording because this was when I was with Noel, I'm pretty sure too, while we were investigating there. And like through doing Estes method, it sounded like I kept hearing like the like that Tweety Bird tweet where it's like,
yeah.
what the fuck, dude? Like that's not the normal like sweeping sound.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like a lot of the stuff that we've got is like not even voices, or like all of a sudden it'll be like and then just go quiet.
Yeah.
Dude, that's where I think that's like a straight up manipulation or like an anomaly happening because we've had the speakers get louder than it even is possible and like project words that were like twice as loud as what the speakers are able to do. And it's like that's like giving it more energy. Like how?
Yeah, like put emphasis on what it's trying to tell you.
Yeah, that was actually at
Asher
the
Walton.
Asher Walton, yeah, and it was like what we think was Asher Walton himself talking to his wife, basically like, "Did you know I love you?" And because like like when you hear words come through, it's not usually like a full phrase or sentence, but like I'm so sorry for everybody that goes back tries to find it and listen to it. I fucked that audio up on that video. It will get re-released and re-edited in like a mastered version at some point, but that's for later. But it's straight up like super loud. It was like, "Did you know? Love you." How?
Yeah, that's obvious. That's plain.
Yeah, and since you guys are new to this, start like really thinking about what the spirits are saying, because sometimes they're not talking to you, they're talking to other spirits. We've noticed that was where the Asher Walton House was one of the first locations that we noticed this
addressing
happening.
them in the times, like the time frame they're from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you're talking to a woman that was alive in like the 1800s, like address her as ma'am and like.
Yeah, you can't walk in there and be like, "Yo, B word."
We've noticed like good results from doing that kind of thing.
Okay, that's something we've never done before, but we're gonna have to try.
Yeah, we at the Asher Walton House, we actually went to the graves of the Walton family, and we left like offerings on their graves, and we were like, "Hey, like if Julia Walton's here like tonight, like we'd like to talk to her, or like if Asher's here, like I'd like to talk to you." So it's like I don't know. It's like like little things like that. I think maybe do add up, maybe they don't. Like it just seems like it's a good fortune, and it's worked in our favor. So.
Well, it definitely makes the most sense, right? I mean, if these spirits,
I mean, if
Tom-
trigger
Tom-
objects do what they're supposed to, then I would think that you're also triggering something with.
Yeah,
like,
it's
putting
just like
stuff down.
it's so important to like always remember that you're talking to a person, because like so many paranormal YouTubers out there, like they approach everything like it's a demon or like it's going to hurt you, and like that might be a thing. I haven't yet to experience it, and I know a lot of people that have done a ridiculous amount of investigations that have never been harmed or threatened or followed or anything like that. So like, not saying it can't happen, and I'm not saying it does happen, but like they were just people, like it's just like having a conversation with you guys. So it's like just treat the spirits with respect, and most likely you're going to get like responses back.
We've kind of learned that at Waverly a little bit. We're still new, but like when we're like polite and kind, like we get more responsive. But when we're kind of more demanding about it, Like everything's
Yeah.
just quiet, you know.
It stops.
Yeah, like you kind of like can't force too hard. Like
Yeah.
I've definitely noticed that there's a very fine line between like being provocative, like being not provocative, like provocative, or I guess that's not the right word that I want to use there at all.
No.
But
Don't
like,
be provocative to the
don't
ghosts.
yeah, don't be provocative. But like being too pushy or like being like too much of like too aggressive with the spirits, you know, like where it's almost like you're almost overwhelming like a person where it's like I
Or
don't
a
want to
good
be
way,
talked to like that.
like sometimes ghost hunting feels like you're asking a monkey to do a trick. Like it really
Yeah.
does.
Mhm.
Circus, go.
Yeah, it feels like a circus game. It really does, especially when you're like, touch that cat ball, you know, like make that thing light up or make that device light
Yeah,
up.
we got cat balls, didn't we, on Waverly? I forgot about that.
Yeah, we had our first cat ball experience
Dude,
last night at
that
Waverly.
shit's electric. I'm not even gonna lie. The first time we had a cat ball go off, it was electric. We were freaking mind blown, and then it just kept happening. I love that.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so like, how does that happen? You know, where it's like, and like I do it in the post town video too, which I honestly kind of want to do like a little tease of it, where it's like I was slapping the floor next to the fucking ball and it wasn't going off, but yet there it is going off on its own. You know, like without anybody around it. How? I don't know. Like
It's
I
completely
simply
unexplainable.
don't
And the cat balls that we got are just like cheap cat balls. Like you have to kind of hit them kind of hard, you know, to
Mhm.
make them go off.
Yeah, that's the same with ours, where it's like you kind of really have to rattle them. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not as sensitive as I'd like it to be, but also like I'd prefer it to be the way it is because now it's
Yeah.
like the pulse positives are kind of out of the way.
Oh yeah.
And we like to put ours like button down, so usually it sits flatter, you know, because
Mhm.
that circle flattens out from the
Yeah.
button.
Yeah, so it's
So-
not like it's got its own pedestal almost, so there's no like physical rolling it can do unless it's actually pushed.
Okay, we'll take note of that. We didn't do that.
Yeah, because I mean, like, like I've noticed that it's really cool when you like set it in dirt or something, right? Where it's like it's stuck. Like, you know, you have to legitimately like pick it up and move it to get it to go anywhere whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, like, it starts going off, even though like you know you're not causing an earthquake, like you're not anywhere near it. Like, yes, sound waves can technically make them go off, but like realistically, like unless you're clapping or screaming at it, like it's probably not gonna make that happen either.
yeah, and
Yeah, it had to be a big sound.
there is a really dope guy on Instagram, Journey into the Haunted. He's actually going to be on our show in the future. He 3D prints like cat ball stands.
Yeah,
like,
and they're
stands,
dope.
and they're
They're
so
pretty
cool,
cool.
fucking cool.
Shout out to him for that invention because that's super badass.
Yeah, I would have never thought about that.
So this is usually the point in the show where we ask the question everyone wants to know. If you
burn
could go to
question.
one location in the world for, say, a week with all of the equipment you could ever imagine, what location would that be?
Oh, we'll probably have two separate answers. I think probably the Warren Museum.
Ooh, that's a first. No one's ever said that. That's a good one. That would be
I mean,
cool.
shit.
Yeah, that's probably
It's
my top.
fucking. It's so well known.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately my answer is probably never gonna be a reality, but I would have to say the Queen Mary.
Oh,
Yeah,
Queen
that would
Mary.
also be awesome.
Yeah, it's
So,
like Snake
okay.
Yeah, unfortunately it's probably gonna be decommissioned if it's not already.
That's
Yeah,
And
and I
it's-
mean, like, was it what's the other big ship that the guy that's now running the Silver Sides here, Riley? Where did he
that was
come from?
Queen Mary.
Was it? Was it? Yeah, I was to say, and I don't know how the new owner is, if it is gonna get decommissioned or not. Like, if he would allow somebody to come on there before it was. But I mean, shoot, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, because it's so interesting because it's not like one specific location. It's a boat. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Well, and it was inhabited for a long time, and like every part of that boat had a specific duty that had like it had like its own part in the machine to make it all work.
Yeah.
Queen Mary. That's how we know a few people that have been on that, and they have pretty good experiences.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
What about you, Riley? Has yours changed at all?
No, mine's still Pelagula Island.
Povagla,
It'll always be that. Always. I want to go there so bad.
the island of death.
Well, I've actually never heard of that.
Yeah, me either.
Really?
Oh. Okay.
Going
So
down.
I'll give it if the chat doesn't know, I'll give it a little background because this place is crazy. I found out about it because of Ghost Adventures. It's the
It's
episode where he wears the
Natalia.
plague mask, Doctor Mask. And it's in Italy, and it's an island in Italy where they sent people with plague. So basically they just sent people there to die, and then they burned so many people's bodies that like a percentage of the dirt has human ash in it.
And it's only like a mile or like what, a mile and a half, like big.
Yeah, it's like
It's
a mile.
not very big.
Mile big. It's a tiny island. And then after that, they did that for years and years and years, used it as a quarantine zone basically for people just to go die. It's fucked up. After a while, a rich doctor bought it and built asylums on it, and he was a fucking mad scientist essentially.
Yeah. Oops.
And then he got booted out of there, and it's been inhabited ever since.
Yeah,
and
it's
illegal to
super-
go there.
super illegal.
Really?
Like it's a federal like offense there, where it's like if you get caught on that island, like they will throw you in federal prison.
Yeah.
So is there any like legal way to actually go about like getting to the island?
I mean, maybe if you talk to like their government,
If you have enough money,
yeah, I would
enough
assume
money,
maybe, but
probably. But I mean, the only person that I know of that has actually been there is Zach Baggins.
yeah,
That
and
actually has,
I
like, a
think he
little
was
video
like
on it.
maybe like under the desk greasing some pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
you got
fuck.
discovery money.
All right, I got a little teasy like of some fun stuff. Have you guys ever used a what do you call it? The REM pod lights? No, I can't think of tripwire. That's what it's called.
Oh no. Yeah. I've seen them though. They
Ooh.
look pretty cool.
All right, then I have a clip for you that will blow your butts off. Why is it letting me share my audio though? Oh, here we go.
First day on the job.
Nope, second day on the job.
Is this better?
So this is from Poasttown Elementary.
All right, let's play a game. If you can touch my hands, I'll follow you down the hallway. That was fucking weird.
Wait, is that a training? That's a training.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Now I have never used a tripwire until that exactly right there. And I've never once in my life ever had experienced such a rush.
Dude, that's crazy because that was like right like in your hands, you know.
It happens like another 6 times after that.
Really?
Dude, that is so crazy. And there's like
Yeah,
no
and
sensors or
I-
anything, right?
Say it again. Sorry, I turned.
Like
my
there's like
speaker
no sensors or anything like where your hands are or anything, right?
No, so like they're technically what those things are like their own separate REM pods basically. And like every one of those is like a sectioned off REM pod. So like realistically, you know, like it has to have some type of electro like magnetic field manipulation make them do that. And like right after that, I kind of show too a little bit that like you can shake them and you can make them go off, but you have to like actually bounce the whole rope.
Yeah.
I wasn't really moving, and I still don't know how it happened. And it did it like, I don't know, like that, like just in that 10-minute clip that I have of that was like 6 times. And then a little bit after that too, we put it in like a circle around me, kept going off again on its own. No
Wow, that's
idea.
crazy. Where was that location at?
Poasttown Elementary, it's in Ohio. Middleton?
Okay.
Right? Middletown, Ohio. That will be our next video that's releasing too.
Oh, nice.
But that one was another one.
Have
where
you
it's-
Have you guys tried reaching out to like local places that are like old and maybe haunted at all?
We haven't put no effort into doing that at all. Actually, a lot of people around here, you can kind of imagine, southeastern Kentucky. Like a lot of people around here, it's like, oh, this is private property.
Yeah,
So,
kind of more about their ways and setting their own.
yeah, a little bit, unfortunately. So, I mean, it might work. I mean, we just have to ask a lot of people. But no,
No,
we've never
yeah.
even considered that.
I definitely recommend it because even though we
Mhm.
have got shot down a lot, like it has
It's
opened up
gate.
other avenues for us too. Because like obviously getting into the paranormal community has helped us out a ton too. Because we've made
Tons.
so many friends now that are like, hey, we have this location. Shout out those dweebs, and they're like, get a hold of this bookstore. And then other friends are like, yeah, go there. If you go there, they'll definitely say yes. You hit them up, they literally respond, yeah. When? It's crazy.
Literally, yeah. Like when can you be here?
That's awesome. Well,
Whenever
it
you
seems like
want.
a mutual benefit, right? Because I mean, they're getting publicity out of it, right? I mean,
Oh
even
yeah.
even so, I mean, it's a mutual benefit.
Yeah, and it's always fun too because a lot of times the owners want to hang out and just see how you operate, and
Mhm.
like when you have an experience with them too, it's just like that much more validating. It's like,
Exactly.
yep, that's what happens here all the time.
Well, and like, what's better than like having this local gem, right? Where it's like your local fam all knows about it, but then like nobody that's like traveling from around here is gonna ever know about it unless they talk to a local, or like maybe they come across it on some article somewhere, but like realistically, it's probably buried deep somewhere unless you're doing a ton of research, which unless you're a paranormal investigator, like you probably are doing the baseline, which no offenses. Like it's just one of those things to me where it's like I've walked down the streets of our little hometown here in Muskegon many times. Didn't realize there was 4 fucking museums down there. Had no idea until like very recently.
That's crazy. You live in Muskegon,
Mhm.
dude? I've
Right
been
on the
there before.
shoreline of Michigan.
You've been to Muskegon? No
Yes,
Wait,
way.
what the
sir.
fuck? Really?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I used to actually be a truck driver.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
nice.
So I'd go through Muskegon. I go to Traverse City or Traverse City up north, right?
Yep.
Yep, Travers.
And
Yeah,
then I would
fucking way
go
up
to
there.
Muskegon. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I've been there a few times, and you're right on the river, on the lake, ain't you?
Mhm.
Yep, right on Lake Michigan. Yep.
Yeah, it seems to help with the activity that we catch around here too, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we would love to come up north and do some investigating around the Great Lake area.
Yep, we gotta get
Dude.
in the Manistee National Forest and do some squash hunting.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It's another one of the bucket list things too, because like obviously like you guys are cryptid like believers like us. I mean, at least you feels like you are,
Well, we definitely want to be.
right? Where it's like if it is, it's everything I want it to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, like aliens, I think are real. Like cryptids, I think there's more to it than we know. I think there's a lot of hidden secrets that are just like pockets of places that we realistically probably can't get to, and it's just,
Well, I mean, Trevor, you got to think about it. It's like the universe is so freaking big. I mean, even if you just go off like mathematically,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's so freaking like
Yeah,
infinitely big, right? So it's
ever
like,
expanding.
and then we're here, right? We're all here. I mean, this is weird, right?
Mhm.
So why would there not be like an extraterrestrial life or like, you know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm saying. Like if you start doing the probabilities
Pretty much
chance,
inevitable.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
what is it? The Fermi paradox? How
yeah. The
it's like
Fermi
the
paradox.
Fermi
Yep.
paradox basically like states like there has to be. Like it's not even like a question. It's like a has to be.
Yeah. Just because of scale, right? It's so massive.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then like the other thing that kind of like boggles my mind is like I've heard a lot of really good theories of religion and like backgrounds and things like that. Where what if like the universe itself is like a god entity? So like how we think of the universe as being like this infinite, like never-ending space that we'll never be able to see the edge of. What if it's like it is its own organically ever growing like thing, where it's manipulating, generating, causing like new like things, and like black holes are like sores or some sort that are like, like washing out of other things. Like I don't know. It's just a theory here. Makes my brain hurt when I think about it though.
Oh yeah. Dude, aliens are 100% real. I mean, we've had our own experiences. Have you guys had any UFO experiences?
I've personally had a few things that I mean, I can't explain. You know what I mean? I don't really know
Mhm.
what it was, but I can't explain. S
Elaborate.
Okay,
Like, I
okay,
want to
okay,
hear.
awesome, awesome.
I
Okay,
love
that
aliens. Like this is my shit.
yeah, okay, sweet, man. Okay, awesome, Trevor. So, dude, like, I have a patio, right? Like a do y'all know what a patio is? Like, just like a, like a back
Bro,
porch,
we
right?
had one of our experiences.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah, okay. So I was out there chilling one night, and, like, I see these 3 lights up in the sky, right? 3 white, like, you could, look like stars, 3 white
Yeah.
lights, right? And, like, they're in the shape of a triangle, like a massive triangle, like
Mhm.
one, like it's coming west to east, right? Going real slow,
Yeah.
and it's shaped like a triangle, like a dot here, and then 2 dots, behind it, right? Like a triangle. And then
Mhm.
anything in the middle of that triangle, like the whole sky was just black, like no stars, no like nothing. It's like a triangle shaped craft up in the sky, and then anything in the middle was blocked out by it, right? Meaning that it was a solid, whatever it was solid in the middle. It
Yeah,
was
like
it was
what's it
dark. There was no. It
called?
was a new moon, so there was no light out. So you can't, but you can tell that that it was solid in the middle, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then did it just like disappear, like vanish, or
Dude,
did
it
it
just
set
slowly
off?
went over my house. It was probably it's kind of hard to gauge those things because you don't really know like the size of it.
Yeah, especially like what elevations it at, like what real like like realistically like is
Ye
it like
Oh, yeah.
massive?
I remember it was hard to gauge the elevation, and it just slowly moved over my house, and then it didn't disappear or anything. It just slowly moved over into, like, the tree line, and I just never seen it again.
That's so wild to me, where it's just like, yeah, like Riley's experience and mine, it's like we like did you get a good scale of that like the dealio that came over at your parents' patio? Because I didn't really
I
like look
remember it
up to
being
see it.
large, but I don't remember how large because a lot of it was blocked by the trees. But I
Yeah.
remember it being fairly large and it being way lower than it should have been. Like something that large should have been a lot higher. Like it was
Mhm.
above the tree line, and like I would say it's like, gosh, in that middle of where a plane would be and where ground level is.
Yeah.
So, like,
But
15,000 feet, probably
Yeah,
2,000.
probably something like that, where it's, like, in commercial, like, airline, like, zone, but the weirdest part was, it was coming over the water, so at first we were like, "Oh, it must be a helicopter." Well, there was no rotor wash, none, like, there was no sound
Right.
whatsoever.
If it was a helicopter in the area, it was because we were sitting on a hill overlooking water. So we're already
Mhm.
pretty high. So like if a helicopter is coming over, there's nothing to deflect the sound anywhere. So if
No,
it's a
not at all.
helicopter, we would have heard it. It would have been like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, typically they don't fly helicopters in the middle of the night. Like a lot of times,
No.
most people don't fly helicopters at night.
I
So
wouldn't
that
think
was
so.
weird already. And then it was triangle shaped, like your UFO experience was, which I mean, a lot of people see that, so it's probably the same type of alien, I would assume.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a lot of these things, a lot of these craft, like since we're on the subject of like, UFOs and aliens, like see, like I'm torn between like, is this extraterrestrial life or is this like some kind of like government cover up, like an Area 51 thing, like they have like, you know what I
I
mean?
think a ton of it is
Yeah, like
man.
just like
Yeah.
a manned UAP. I think that's in their disclosure. They talked about
Yeah,
those.
well, like David Grush was hired by a government entity to investigate other government entities that were not proving where their money was coming from, proved that the money was coming and going to places that it should not have been going, and then brought it to the attention of like people that were in the position to like bring it in front of like a council, brought in front of the council, and they were like, we need to do something about this immediately. And the next day, that's when the disclosure court, like proceedings started.
Mhm.
How is that not fucking, like, just proof enough that, like, our government, other governments, and, like, people are definitely working on alien tech?
Oh, there's a lot of cover. I believe it. He's firm, and it's in the paperwork. That
Oh, yeah.
another thing. Like, what about Bob Lazar? Like at Area 51 and like reverse engineering spacecraft, right? And then like since the 50s, right? Since the Roswell incident,
Mhm.
like all of a sudden we got touch screen phones in our pocket. We
Yeah,
got
the
Teslas.
10 years that it took to
The
make microchips just incredibly good.
Have
Oh
you
yeah,
ever seen the video of the folding like aluminum foil stuff?
yeah,
Like
and it comes right back, and like there's
Oh,
no crevice or
yeah.
anything. Yeah,
yeah, there's actual video of that. I've seen it before, and it's fucking insane. Like
I haven't
it
seen
makes
it. I would
no,
love to
it
see it.
blows. I haven't been able to find it in a long time. I've seen this years and years ago, and I don't remember even where
The
I
only
seen
thing
it.
I could think of
but-
is like if you stimulate it with like electricity to that like would make it go rigid again. But like in that video that you're talking about specifically, I don't remember them ever doing anything other than just like crumpling it and it just
Yeah,
like going back
they just crumpled it into a ball, and he opened his hand, and it literally just went
flat.
perfect.
Yeah, like
no
a clean
wrinkles in
sheet of
it or
aluminum
anything.
foil.
Yeah.
Like sheet metal.
Yeah,
Like
that's not possible. Like,
literally
sorry.
we still don't even have anything that can do that.
We don't
Yeah,
have
still.
anything that can legitimately generate never-ending like energy. Like they say that they figured out
perpetual?
what could, but they don't know how to harness that yet.
Well, they have some kind of apparently, like Bob Lazar was talking about some kind of fuel. What is it, like element 115 or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what it is. They know what the element is, but they haven't been able to like synthesize it to make it do its thing. Like when it starts its chain reaction, it will constantly make energy and never stop or something like that.
They think that I believe that this is how these crafts operate, right? They then somehow this element somehow it can like bend the make its own gravitational field, right?
And crazy.
Yeah, something
Crazy
crazy
stuff.
like that, dude. It's mind-blowing stuff when you like hear about it, and then especially like the way Bob Lazar talks about things that he did. Like it's like, man, how does one just make this type of shit up?
Yeah,
You know what I
like
mean? Like,
tons of acid, maybe.
like I understand people have really good imaginations, and like, we can create a lot of things with our mind, but like a lot of the things we create are based off of things we've experienced or encountered. So even if some of it is fabricated, he would have had to have taken that experience from somewhere to fabricate it.
Well, it's like
Whatever.
he's been so consistent, right, since he opened up about this, right? Like his story has
That-
never changed, and people at like Los Alamos, right, New Mexico, has like verified, like you know, that he did work there. He was, you know, a part of that crew.
Yeah, like he 100% was there.
Oh yeah.
Well, and then the other thing too is like when he talks about how they fucked with him too outside of when he got let go of his like his positions, like, and this is all documented too. Like he was legitimately like tried in court for a bunch of random shit that he should never have been tried for. He literally just did his job. And then I want to get behind those fucking doors for those skiffs where it's like, yo, open ended, just let me know what the fuck is going on, dude.
Yeah, it's like they come at they like if he's not really a threat to you, then why are you going after him kind of thing, you know what I mean?
It's because he has their
100%.
secrets. That's what it is. Like
Exactly.
when they find out that like, oh, we can't test these military like funded, you know, like DARPA backed like in super black site intelligence stuff. They're like, well, poo-poo. Now we have like sanctions that aren't gonna let us do these things. Because like, I mean, realistically, you've probably heard of it where it's like they have the super collider in Antarctica where they're like causing massive earthquakes in like South America.
Changing the
and
weather
shit.
and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and it's like, what if that is true? And like he found out that like there's those black sites are actually operating, and they're like, no, fuck you, no.
Antarctica is a whole nother topic, man.
That's a whole
Oh my
waste.
gosh, dude, I'm fascinated by Antarctica.
I think there's like some type of Middle Earth like entrance, and
Oh yeah, like an Agartha or something.
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
God, the scene that I always think of is literally King Kong versus
Yeah.
Godzilla,
thinking
where they
that
go to
too.
Middle Earth and there's like dinosaurs down there and shit. Like that is what I picture is in Antarctica.
Well, it's like,
It
dude, you
makes
got to think
sense.
like the Earth is massive, right? Like we're all on it, right?
Mhm.
What's in the freaking middle? Like there's so
We
much stuff. Like
don't know what
We
the
don't
core is.
actually know what the core is. We've never been that deep, so how would we know?
What's the closest we got? Like how many feet? Like 11,000 feet
Oh
or something?
God, there's the hellhole in
Yeah,
Russia.
the hellhole was the farthest bored hole that I know of, and that was like fucking. I'll just Google
Kola
it. Really
deep borehole,
quick.
the Kola.
It was a few hundred
Siberia.
kilometers, I think. Yeah, it was in Siberia, Russia, I believe. But like that's the furthest we've ever dug into the earth, and we're not even close to leaving the mantle. So,
Yeah, so we don't know anything. We could pretend to, you know.
I'm still
Yeah, so
so fucking
Antarctica's like
mad
a
they
gateway,
lied
right?
about
Like a
this
doorway
stuff.
to it.
like think about this. So like say there's a crack in the earth that's like underneath the crust and like into the mantle, and like enough oxygen does get down there, right? and there was life forms that got down there and lived down there and have been living down there for millions and millions and millions of years, and they evolutionalized. And then, like, what if they found a way to make it back to the surface? What if that's what aliens are? I don't know.
It's also very possible that we are the invaders and they're the very, very largely unknown inhabitants of this place. I mean, maybe the Anunnaki live in the middle of the earth and we mined all the gold for them and now they're just living prosperously in the middle of the earth. That's possible.
What's up, the new reality?
What about that Admiral Byrd? Like he flew over to the, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I don't think I do actually.
Yeah, so he was like an admiral in the United States military in like in the 40s and 50s, and he flew over Antarctica, right? And he like built like a base there and all this. And apparently, when he flew back, he was like trying to release. He was like, "Oh, there was like this massive, like it was a big ice sheet, just like a flat ice sheet." And he was like, and there was like this massive hole that was there, and apparently he tried to release some like documents like about like his trip there, and like the government was like, "Oh, you can't release that," and like they shut him down.
Yeah, not today, son.
Oh, always makes me
that
wonder
hole was
too.
40,000 feet deep.
40,000. That's nothing.
Not compared to what the fucking Earth is like in diameter.
Yeah, like you're not even scratching the surface, you know?
No,
No,
you're tickling
not
grass blades.
Like, I just think, like, you think of like all the caves and shit that go down into the earth. Like, what if there's a cave that's covered in ice? Because we don't even know what's under the fucking ice, for one.
The permafrost is covering all the secrets.
Like, and do we even have like an official accurate map of what Antarctica looks like, or is it all guesstimated?
That's another thing.
Like, have they actually
being told
flown
the
around
truth?
Antarctica and mapped out every freaking little spot of? Because, like, isn't it like shrinking or getting bit? What does it do?
Well, with
It's doing
the like
something.
the
It's
land
shrinking.
mass is shrinking due to the climate change and the heating. But like realistically, like what do we really know? I don't know. No, nobody's really allowed there. The only people that do stay there year round are scientists, and they're
And
probably
crazy
put under
people.
they're put under hush contracts, so we don't even know. And then realistically, we're being shown certain things that like maybe they just manipulate those too. Maybe it isn't even close to what we think it is. I don't know. I'm so on the boat that like also the Congo like is another in the like the Amazon rainforest. Though that is also another like super prime time, like you're either gonna find ruins of like ancient civilizations that are going to prove like that human civilization was manipulated by other races of beings, or that the history that we know is not correct, which it's not anyway. Nothing that we know is actually completely 100% correct yet. Some of it might be, but like when you start getting into like the Mesoamericans and like Native American culture and like back into like the Roman and like ancient times like that, I don't think we have all the answers whatsoever.
No, I don't
Not
think
even
we do either.
close.
Well, it's like, didn't we just recently? Someone was flying over like the rainforest, right? And they was using like a new technology, like lidar,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
And like they gridded off like a whole city, right?
Yeah,
yeah, and it's like what?
Josh Gates went there and they found all this. It like predated any civilization that they knew like was in that area at any time.
Oh, and it wasn't it the snake gods too, and how it was
Yeah.
like the temple to those gods, and they
Gosh, I
never
wish I
found
remember
anything
what
like
that
it.
video I sent to you. I sent Trevor this video.
It was like a month ago we
mind-blowing.
talked about this too.
Well, there's allegedly like that lidar city that apparently we've discovered. Apparently there's some documents or somehow there's some kind of chain of command where there was reports of like people up like 14. This is like the 1400s, right? There's like a
Yeah.
massive. That's not that long ago. Like a massive city was there that was thriving. It was about the size of London, England at the time, right?
That's
Which
pretty
wasn't a
fucking
small city.
big.
Yeah. Even at the time, and it was growing, and then
Mhm.
something happened where it just all disappeared.
Yeah, what causes that? Like,
Straight
is
up,
it
like why?
like
How?
it could be disease. That's very, very plausible.
Well, that
There
makes sense
was-
around the time period
But
too, I
like,
guess.
it's just weird that like that many people would, disappear. Because like
Like a
you
whole
think-
city, yeah.
You think about it, like I know, like
It's a whole culture getting wiped out, and like how?
I mean, Christopher Columbus, he wiped out entire.
That Good point there for sure. That's real.
Was a terrible, terrible person and wiped out entire cultures. Same with the Spanish conquistadors. So we know that like that kind of thing happened, but like some of these places are in the most remote portions of the Amazon. How the fuck would
How would you know? Yeah, like literally,
how
how
would they
would you
get
know it's
there? And
there?
how would they make all these people disappear? So it's like, what else would have shown up there to make all these people just disappear? I
Well,
think
Raul,
aliens.
it's the same thing with the Egyptians, right? I mean, we have these
Oh
pyramids,
yeah.
these like remnants of the civilization that happened, right? Moving these heavy freaking rocks, right,
Mhm.
across hundreds of miles, right? Like, how did that
The
happen? No one even knows how that
wildest
happened.
feat of architecture you will ever find.
They say like man hours, it's like 1,000,000 man hours to create the pyramid. Just the giant, like the Great Pyramid.
Unconceivable.
Yeah, dude, I heard if it's like if like one of those blocks are like 20,000 pounds, and like if they was just to move a block a minute, it would be like 700
Those
years.
stones aren't even like native to that like region of
No,
where
they're
they're
not.
like
No.
made. Like it's like
Like,
you have to
how do you
transport those.
how like think about that too? Like if it takes that long, like we don't even think humans have been on Earth that long.
Right.
So
Dude, the
like,
pyramids are older than what we think. 100% have to be.
so like it would have took like say 250,000 years for them to build the pyramids. Well, that would automatically predate any notion of human existence or human like civilized human life form.
Yeah, not like Neanderthal, like ape-like humanoids.
Well, like a
Well,
lot of these pharaohs, like even Cleopatra, like these people were born closer to the invention of the iPhone than they was the pyramids, right, being built.
100%.
that's
That's the
wild.
wildest part to me too. And then you start wondering too, under the Sphinx, under the pyramids themselves, they're finding that there's like caverns and chambers and things that they will not crack into because it will destroy everything inside. Which it tells me like yes, that stuff is old and it is also very, very susceptible to the elements, but if it's like that fucking like super, super like touchy where you can't do anything, like air touches and it blows up, that's older than what we think. 100% has to be.
Here's something for you that might blow your mind too. So Alexander the Great, right? Everyone knows Alexander the Great. Well, he founded a city in Africa called Alexandria. The historical remains of his like mausoleum that he built
Mhm.
in the center of the town is actually covered by dirt, and they are like digging to find it.
And is it like just
And
keep
they have
extending
yeah,
down?
they have found portions of the remains. Obviously, the building wouldn't still be standing 'cause it
Yeah,
crumbled
it'd probably
at some
crumble
point.
out.
But, like, think about that, like, they've built a city on top of a city now, and that's happened all
Yeah.
over the world. So, like, how much do we not know because it's just buried under the earth?
We already went through World War III and now we're back at like World War III stage again. It's like we just
Yeah,
rebuilt to
so, like,
now.
think about it, like, that shit has happened in the living human history right now. So, who's to say that kind of thing didn't happen at, like, a more, like, massive scale? So, like, there could have been many things, like, a meteor strike just crumbled every civilization on Earth, and now all of it's just covered in the debris and residue of that, and then life began back on top of it, and then, like, obviously, that's what happened with the dinosaurs, and that's why we could find their fossils, but,
Yeah.
like, who's to say that it isn't the same for, like, years and years of human history as well, or just different types of human history that we may not think of them as humans, but like, what if the aliens were here first before the dinosaurs and all that shit? All that history is buried in the earth somewhere.
I just want to. Somebody needs to make some art of like an alien riding on a T-Rex, and then like cowboy hat and everything. Or he's fucking getting it. That'd be sick. Oops,
That
sorry,
actually is
kitty.
pretty sick.
That would be fucking sick.
Yeah, I'd hang it on my wall.
Yeah, I would 1,000,000% rock that shit. I'd even get a tattoo of it. A full back piece of an alien on a T-Rex and be like, we're rocking.
Be a cool party trick to show people.
Fuck yeah, it would. I mean, if you guys were given the opportunity to go to Skinwalker Ranch, would you do it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah. Do you think it would live up to the hype though? Because I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
That's all I gotta say is I don't know. I want to fight an alien with a sword. I know that much.
Yeah, isn't that the place where the dude says he fought
Yeah,
an
he's like,
alien
I
with a
have this
katana?
katana, and I sliced an alien, a gray with it, and now it's like I keep this on me. Like, I'm like,
Oh my
no,
God.
don't.
I think the last thing I would do is attack an alien.
No,
Yeah,
dude,
dude,
I'm trying to get probed.
Yeah, dude, I'd run.
Yeah, can you even run from an alien though? Like that's
Nah,
my
dude.
thing. Like,
But would you want to lose sight of it? That's the thing. Are you turning your back on an alien and running
a
away?
good
Or are you
point.
running backwards?
Dude,
like,
I'd probably just
"He's
submit to
not-"
it, do whatever it wants me to, honestly, at that point.
Just drop the soap.
Yeah, like,
Just drop
have you
the
guys
soap.
ever
Drop
been in
the
like
soap.
on an investigation? Have you guys ever been in the situation where it's like fight, flight, or freeze? And then like, which one were you?
I think I'm a freeze person.
I do think I'm a freezer at first.
Yeah, dude, I have to freeze and like kind of evaluate like what is going on, you know?
Yeah,
Like when that rock got thrown at us.
it's like, ruh Shaggy. Like,
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah, yeah.
I Scooby Doo that shit hard.
See, or some days we'll get brave, and then it'll be like, "Did you hear that? Go!"
That was us
Just
in
hoof
Waverly.
it at it.
Yeah, we're not the scream and run type though. We're definitely
Mhm.
a pause, think, and attack.
Yeah, more and like if we do get loud, it's more like oh my god, what the fuck is happening? Like, did you hear that? And then Riley goes, shh, shut up. I'm playing it again.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Trevor, I'm definitely the one who's more skittish than Dylan.
Yeah,
Like-
the first investigation, it was hoods up. It was like, don't make me do that. But then I was like, okay, I gotta be a big man.
Honestly, that for me though, Trevor, that's kind of what makes it so interesting is like that I am kind of like
Mm.
I'm afraid, right? But I do it anyway. And like there's something to that to where it's like that much more enjoyable to me to like be in the body shoot or be, you know what I mean, be in these
Yeah.
locations.
It like adds that like level of like what I want to call immersion, where it's like
Yeah.
I'm already like a horror fan too. So like just being in the history of it is like fucking awesome already. History buff too. But then like, it adds that like, oh fuck, dude, this is like straight up horror movie vibe. I've been thinking a lot lately. Like, what if like you go to a location, right? And every room that you go into, you ask the same question, right? And then you figure out if it's residual that way, right? So like just a general question. Because I think this happens a lot where, like a lot of investigators will go to investigate certain locations. They'll have an idea of what they want to hear, and then they'll start following the rabbit hole when they get into certain like they'll get a certain response, which it might be completely credible. But everybody wants to hear what they want to hear, right?
Yeah.
But then
100%.
what if you change it up, and it's like I can't even think of a good question off the top of my head, but I don't know. Like that's been on my head a lot lately too. It's like, how can I make my investigation style better lately?
Well, it's like going into anything, I think the trick is you have to be completely unbiased as possible, right?
Definitely.
So whatever evidence presents herself to you, you do have to kind of roll with, but you always
Mhm.
like want to be like, because it might be like a different spirit talking to you, right? It might be a completely,
Right.
thing happening to you.
No, I definitely feel that because sometimes you'll ask a question and the response you get back on, say, like Spirit Talker app or something doesn't correlate. But then you
Or it's
find out
close.
later the reason it didn't correlate to the history of the person you're talking to is because it was someone completely different coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we want like these famous spirits to like communicate with us and all this, right? Like we want these, but like
Mhm.
sometimes you'll just get like some like a local or something,
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
like
or
I'm sure
just
you
a
guys have been,
passing spirit that doesn't even know where they are
or
potentially.
like
Yeah,
Riley can like
wandering.
say this too, like just with the video that just came out. We ask for a name and then we get 12 names. And it's like, well, we did literally just ask for a name. What if there are literally 12 different people here that want to talk and they're all fighting for the mic?
I mean, that's a possibility.
Definitely 100%. Like because like you can't see who you're trying to communicate. And then like imagine
No.
if you're a spirit and you're surrounded by all these other spirits and you see these individuals come in and they're willing to open up a line of communication for you and you
Yeah.
haven't been able to get your voice out for who knows how long.
Mhm.
Imagine how like it's probably chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
like
you're
in that realm, yeah.
screaming.
Everyone's fighting for a chance to get their word in. And I think we've seen that on quite a few of our
At least a few
investigations.
times. Like at least.
And there's always, I don't know what it is. It's like the further we get into the investigation and the night comes, it almost seems like the later in the night, like almost always spirits are warning of something bad approaching.
Yeah, like impending danger, it always seems like. And then by the time we're like ready to leave, it's like, hey, you need to go.
I feel like at Waverly, like the later it got, there would be like pauses in between where the spirits would just stop. But
Oh,
even
yeah.
at like at 3 a.m., we thought that was gonna be the best time, but it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
Right. Like I don't know if time really is relative like in
Yeah.
I don't think it
investigation
is.
terms anymore. Like it's always been so sporadic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes in little, like you said, like little pockets of like 15-minute
Wave.
intervals, and then it just goes away. And sometimes, like, you can even feel the energy shift. Like,
Yeah.
you can feel that like a spirit's around you, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. I don't know how you guys are, but like me and Trevor, we're pretty empathic. Like,
Yeah.
I can feel spiritual energy as soon as it like enters a room. I can't
I'm
really
getting a
explain it, but I
clue.
just know. How are you guys with like your empathic capabilities? Because I personally believe everyone is empathic. It's just an ability we all have to work on and learn how to control.
It's a
and things
muscle.
like that.
Like a skill you have to hone in, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, honestly, I've never really like paid much attention to that. But I guess the only thing I could compare it to is Waverly. Like a lot of the places we would be, you could feel it, right? Like you could feel, like a lot of times it would be like, oh, like I get sick to my stomach. You know what I mean? I start getting nauseous.
Electric cobwebs. That's what I
Yep.
like relate the feeling to. It's like electric cobwebs, and it's like chilly, kind of like the moment your hair actually stands up, like for real, like the old phrase
stomach
of
drop.
I just got the chills, right? And then you look and your hair is standing up. Like that is spiritual energy. You're feeling that spiritual energy. It's being presented to you.
That happened to me for the first time last night. Like yeah. So you just like confirmed something for me because I looked on my hand, dude, on my arm, and like it was straight up. Like every hair I had on my arm just was straight up, and I wasn't really even feeling anything. I was like, "Why's my arm doing?" Like I
Yeah,
showed
like
Dylan
the
it's on
temperature
camera.
didn't change that much.
That's
that,
because a
you
ghost
know.
was standing right next to you, bro.
Dude, yeah, we was walking through the break room or to what they call base camp, right?
Dude,
It's like
that's I love that.
and dude, yeah. I didn't know what to make of it until now.
Well, like think about it, dude. Our bodies are like legitimately like head to toe walking set like we're sensors. Like, you know, like our skin itself is one of the most like wild sensory array like in existence. And it's like the biomechanical type bullshit.
That's a good way. That's a good analogy, Trevor, I think.
Because I mean, shoot, like, you know, like you walk into a room, right? Say, the next person that walks in behind you is like this big, like masked up, hooded figure guy, like gives off that foreboding presence, you know, like you can feel that, like the shift in that energy. Well, who's to say just because that a person like that walks into a room, but is in a different like state of like not there, but there, that you don't still feel that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that because like I feel like with paranormal investigating, the more you open yourself empathically, obviously, the more potential dangers you could, if you know there are demons and everything, you could be inviting. But as a paranormal investigator, you have to be willing to explore that side of yourself too, because for me, paranormal's always been about learning more about the afterlife. What is it? Why is it there? So like the more I can experience it physically, mentally, emotionally, the more it like resonates with me. And it's more of the reason why I'm doing it. Yeah, I love capturing evidence and I love all these other things, right? But like if I can experience something that I can't explain to where like for example, one of the scariest moments I've had paranormal investigating is when I did have spiritual like a spiritual oppression on me.
A
I was
unicorn.
investigating a place in Alaska. We've mentioned this place before. It was like this. In history, it was a crematorium. And where I was investigating was the basement of this building, which was the entrance of a hallway that went through the tunnel through the whole town. They used the crematorium furnace to heat the town. It's fucked up.
They
I'm
burn the
standing where
bodies
the
with the
furnace
heat.
is, and I caught an EVP, and I didn't know it at the time, that said, "Hey." And at that very moment, I couldn't breathe. Like, I had lost my breath completely. I couldn't catch my breath at all. And I actually had to leave the building to go outside and get fresh air. And it came back as soon as I left. But I now understand that that was a spirit giving their like presence to me and letting them know, like letting me know how they were feeling. So I don't know if it was how they died or if they were just affecting me and that's how my body handled it. I don't know. But I think it's just important for all of us paranormal investigators to like look into the spiritual side of things. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be religious because I understand not everyone has the same religion and things like that. But like being open spiritually is a good thing because it's just going to benefit you as an investigator, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I was so close-minded to it too. I was like, that's all bullshit. Until like it started to like realistically like click. And then like you start seeing the similarities, like how Riley was saying, and it's like, oh, well, they weren't lying? Like, wait, what? And now it's spooky. Like there's been a few times where it's like we're getting ready for an investigation, and like the day before, I'll like actually get kind of nervous because I'll be like, is today the day that I encounter something that's gonna like change the course of my life? Or like something bad that's gonna like really change the outcome of the next event that's going to happen? Like, I don't know. And I mean, it's like a risk that we run, but realistically, I don't think it's like that. Like, it doesn't seem like it, at least out of the many investigations we've done.
Yeah, Trevor. Well, I mean, I've always been a big skeptic, honestly, of the paranormal until we
Mhm.
started this channel. I mean, until like prior to we would hear
Yeah.
things, but now it's like I really don't know what to make of it. Like I really can't
Yeah.
say. You know what I mean?
I'm right there with you because it's a unicorn where it's like unicorns aren't real, but I saw a fucking unicorn.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just yeah, exactly. That's a good way
the
of describing
more I investigate, the more I like I'm struggling with the I'm recently at like a point where I'm struggling with the paranormal. I don't know if any of you have seen this documentary, but the documentary about the devil made me do it. The devil
Oh,
on
Like
trial on
a
Netflix.
woman kills her husband, or vice versa, something like that.
Yeah, the guy said he was possessed by the devil and stabbed a dude 4 times,
Yeah.
and
yep.
there's, like, this little kid who was, like, possessed and everything. Well,
Mhm.
that documentary really opened my eyes because, for one, I'm sorry, don't anyone take this personally, but I'm not a really big believer in Ed and Lorraine Warren. This is recently in the past, like, year and a half or so of, like, doing more research on them. I believe they were more in it
Weird.
for the money than they were really paranormal investigators.
I think it was like everything, dude, where they were good at first and then they started getting more recognition and, fame and
Being able to
yeah,
find out
like
they can make
notoriety.
money. Yeah. So, like, I think it's, like, one of those types of things. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not Ed and Lorraine Warren.
I
That's just
wasn't
my
around.
opinion. But, like, that documentary really opened my eyes. I literally watched this last night, so it's, like, super fresh in my head. But, damn, like, if people that are so loved and respected in this community like Ed and Lorraine Warren are, and, like, they were faking it, and they did turn all of these people to, like, think they were experiencing something because there was things about how they presented their case
Yeah.
to this family that almost, like, influenced their actions in a way
Were you
to where I was
leading, you
like,
mean?
"Damn, they gave them the fuel to make the fire happen." And
Yeah.
the family's hysteria turned it into a reality for them. Because I don't want to spoil the documentary for anyone or not, but like there was this whole side story that if it is true, really fucked me. I'll be honest about it. Like it fucked my whole belief in like Ed and Lorraine Warren, and It's just like, man. Like, and then on top of that, we know how many YouTubers are out there faking shit, which is terrible because you don't need to fake anything. Evidence is evidence, and it's gonna happen or it's not. Fuck your views, fuck your monetization. Do it because you like doing it, not because it's not gonna put fucking food on your table. That's the wrong way to go after paranormal. When you turn it into a job, it gets fucked up, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because
we,
yeah.
sorry,
Go
you go,
ahead.
Riley.
No, go ahead. I didn't have anything.
He's just
to say.
gonna go rant for another 5
Yeah,
minutes.
I was
about
gonna
it.
go.
Yeah, all right, you're all. Well, I was just gonna kind of add to that you know, it's very unfortunate that is the case a lot of times. Is a lot of these people just like fake things. You know what I mean, right? A lot of these YouTubers for views and things. But thankfully, I mean, if you have any like brain cells to rub together, you would see right through it, right? But another thing is like you don't have to fake evidence, right? I mean, you go to the location, right?
everywhere.
You go where it is haunted, right? And it will happen.
Yep.
Yeah, and
I
if
mean,
it doesn't, guess
authentically.
what? The ghost called your
wow.
bluff and said you're a douchebag.
Yeah. And like realistically too, we don't know how places recharge. We don't know how spirits manipulate any of the energies around them. Like
Yeah.
maybe like people, because like now that we've seen a lot of these places, you know, and like people are really like into this, it's fucking it is so ridiculously oversaturated now to where like we wanted to go investigate a few places and it was like 4 months a wait list. And it's like, oh my God. Now you think they're doing that almost every night too. The spirits don't get a fucking break. Like, I don't know how do you keep up?
Yeah, that's very unfortunate.
You know, like it just that's
But
the part where it is.
it's
It's
unfortunate, but
unfortunate.
it's also a good thing because it's keeping a lot of these
Well,
amazing
yeah,
historic
which
places around, which is
it's
awesome.
silver linings both ways for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Because like I know one of my like dreams in life is to own a haunted building and do this type of thing and like allow people
Definitely.
like I want to do that one day. I think that would be so fucking cool. But it's not ever going to be anything that I'm doing to like put money on the table for like my livelihood. It'll just be
like
like a side thing.
realistically, keep the lights on would be awesome. And like maybe fund a trip or two to like keep us on the road. But like, do I want to make $1 million? Of course. But do I want to make it from the viewers and the patrons and all the like donations? No, I want it straight from the fucking sponsors. Like BetterHelp, if you're listening, I will 100% read and tell you how great it is because it is. Like that's where I want the money to come from. Like if we're gonna get into the semantics of it, you know what I mean? Where it's like I feel gross asking people for donations because realistically, we're all doing this. We're all doing the same thing. We all work blue collar jobs. We all are wanting to catch the same stuff. Nothing that makes anybody any different from what we're doing, you know, other than like maybe how we present our stuff.
Right. Like we did our whole Kickstarter thing and our
So
fan
close.
base is so amazing. The night crew is so amazing
Amazing.
that we were within $100 of it. That like, it's like, man, we almost got the chance to do something that we had dreamed of because like it was going, the amount of money that we were going to make was going to allow us to go to like huge locations and do it like every weekend for like a month.
Oh,
Hopefully
nice.
one day we'll do the Kickstarter again, you know, and we'll get to that goal. But like Trevor said, I would much rather corporate sponsors pay us.
Like it just feels grimy. And I mean, it's nothing wrong with anybody who gets donations. It's nothing wrong with doing it like, and there are good and wrong ways of doing it where it's like if somebody wants to donate to the channel, I'm so appreciative of it. Just like how the Kickstarter was basically that. But also it's like if we can give back at any point, we will. Like the bumpies, like we're literally making like gift boxes and like I'll grab the award right now and show you because it's like it's not just like a one-sided thing. Those are the before dolls.
This is what they look like before they're done. But I have more
And
of
then
them.
these are the finished products.
Oh, that's neat.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean it's like shit like that where it's like it's all we can do like to give back with what we have available. But like if we do like strike it rich or something, it's like, dude, if I can bring people on investigations
Also,
every
just
weekend,
to
I'm doing it.
bump up the bumpies a little bit more. The Night crew member that wins a bumpy will get our card game that we have created that is very limited and exclusive. So you'll be able to get that and play it. And it's actually a pretty dope game.
I still can't
I
believe
created it
I'm in the card
myself.
game.
So make sure you go head to our Instagram page and go vote for the finalists because we need to figure out who's going to be the bumpiest guest. And don't worry, guys. Now that you have been on the show, you will be in the running for the next bumpies, whenever that may be, because we do it every 100 episodes. So
It took forever though, so it might end up going faster because we're
it might
starting
end
to,
up being a
go way
yearly thing,
faster.
but we'll work on that in another date.
So, you guys got anything big planned for the upcoming futures for the next, like the better weather time?
Oh, we plan on like just personally going like camping at a lake and stuff. But like for the channel and stuff, if Waverly pops off, then we'll probably be going big places. If it goes how we plan, which I doubt it.
Well, lucrative. Like I don't know how lucrative it is, but we're hoping to get a lot of our at least startup money from Google AdSense, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't know how much money is going to be there, but if we can just get like video to video, it's kind of what we're kind of hoping for,
Right.
to fund these trips, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
it's mainly just the money thing.
everyone's goal. Yeah, I think like one day, hopefully, we get monetized, and that's literally what it'll be. Because, like, for one, it's not free to run this podcast. It's not like we have
It is wild how
memberships
you have to pay for
and
shit.
like, money is dished out every month to keep all of our content creating and
the
flowing
hosting
and
sites,
preventive.
all
It's
the
like,
platform
'cause
bullshit.
if you guys didn't know too, like on top of YouTube, we also release all of our live streams via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, like on everything. So
Yeah.
we have to pay for that host site, and then like it's kind of expensive. Like we pay for StreamYard too to be able to have all these crazy features. Which chat, let me know, because it said when I went live before we end this tonight that it was broadcasting in 1080p, and if that's the case, please let me know, because that'd be sick, because we've been doing 720 for like a year.
Yeah, and it's been cheating us because they gatekeep really hard, even though you pay for it.
But I
gotta
really
love
do hope you guys get into some bigger locations, because for one, you guys are already really good at editing
Yeah,
videos and
Quality
everything.
is mwah.
Is that like a self-taught thing, or was
Yeah,
it something that you?
So I started off like a gaming channel forever ago, whenever I
I
was
love
like
that.
17, and I just progressively started getting better at editing, basically. Over
What do you
like,
use?
5 years, something like that.
What do you use?
Oh, I used to use Premiere Pro, but right now I'm using DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about DaVinci Resolve.
yeah. A lot of people are like, if you can use DaVinci, use DaVinci.
Yeah, it's not much different really, so I highly recommend it.
Heck yeah. It's just like we started on CapCut, and like it's so user friendly that like I think we finally like really nailed it, and it's like we're experts at it now, to the
Yeah.
point to where like we can always learn more, but like it's like, oh, that's like really high level cap cutting.
So are you editing on like your phone or?
No, we do it on the desktop app.
Oh,
Usually.
okay. There's a CapCut on the desktop. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
what, like $9 a month or something. Like, it's
Yeah,
not
so we
bad.
do
It's on
the
the cheaper
Pro.
side of them.
But I've started making my own like packs and lux and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I was just
that.
saying the same
So-
here. I started making stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good experience. I never had any video editing skills at
Not at
all.
all.
None. And then started doing the podcast, and obviously found a love for creating content. And then I was like, man,
I mean,
like
shoot, like you
I wanna
really
get
just
good at
started 2
this.
years ago editing.
pretty much, yeah.
I think my favorite thing is probably the editing process. But
It's
well,
pretty
not now
satisfying.
because we went to Waverly. I really enjoyed Waverly. It was so fun, dude.
Yeah.
Getting to remember all of, like, getting to watch the footage back, and then when you see stuff happen, and then you get that rush again, it's like that's serotonin. I love that.
Or
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys too, but like I'll be like editing, and I'll literally like FaceTime him and be like, bro, not believe what the fuck I
This
just
out.
found. And I'll freaking show it to him. And he'll be like, "What?" And I'll be like, "Get on StreamYard right now." Like, we have a
Well, I mean,
problem.
there's something about like seeing something happening, right? Like getting evidence and looking at it, and also capturing it, right?
Yeah, like seeing the other angle instead of it just being like first person. It's like wow.
Yeah, yeah, and then you get to go in there and like boost the audio, or like,
Mhm.
or kind of like shine light on what just happened to us, right?
Yeah, like the disembodied footsteps that we captured. Like once we listened back to the audio on all of the recorders, and then we played the footage back from like the boosted audio that I plugged into the mixer. It's like, oh my god, like this is one of the most incredible things I've ever heard.
Yeah, in the body shoot, we heard some like knocks and stuff, and I got to boost those, and it's like kind of insane to be honest. Like
Yeah.
way louder than we thought it was even.
Mhm.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's how once you like enhance
Yep.
the audio and you remove some of the background fuzz and like shit like that, and you actually you hear it, and you're like, damn, that was actually loud as hell.
Yeah.
Like it cracks me up. Also,
but-
Butters, 119 gigabytes is the latest video that I'm working on that I cut down 5 hours out of. I don't want to hear it. Okay, now we can end it. Love
Yeah,
you.
Sorry, I'm left from that. But want to thank you both for coming on to the show.
Oh yeah, no
It was an
problem.
absolute banger. You guys are
Yeah,
freaking
thank you so
awesome.
much for having us.
Yeah, if
We'll
like
definitely
we
have
said,
to have you
go
guys
check
back
that
on.
stuff out.
Yeah, links are always down in the description. Night Crew, you know, we hook you up to get to their content as quick as possible. And if you're lazy like me, you can just click the title because they are tagged in it.
Yep. Kentucky isn't that far away from us too. And it's like if we end up heading that way, I mean, I could smell a collab in the future. at
Yeah,
some point, for
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you just let us know. You got us on Instagram. You know,
Heck
we've been
yeah.
communicating there. So
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Mackey's is a short hop and a skip from where
that's
you guys
probably going to be one of our next videos. Just a little spoiler
are.
alert.
Hey, see, so it's like fuck yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
See, great
Bobby
minds think
Mackey's
alike.
dream location right there. And folks, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family. If you haven't yet, go to Spotify, Apple, and all that to follow us. Give us 5 stars. Helps us out in all of the algorithms and BS that
Interaction
will
is
make
key.
us do.
Also, go down to theirs, and every one of their videos. I want to see a comment from all of you, at least 1 or 2 comments on every video, and it'll help with the interaction, getting those views up.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all
Definitely
so much.
will. And don't forget to go vote for the Bumpies. Yes, thank you, Dan Tex. Don't forget to go vote for the Bumpies. It's super important that you help us figure out who's going to win the Bumpy. And with that being said, folks, remember to keep your ears and eyes open for what really goes.
Bump in the night. Peace. Bye, fam.